Agud v'raboisai. Ninish masimim merasius b's Mordechai. Yesh kam makom, Yosef Erman. That's the guy. He said, who's your brother? Here's the guy. How you doing, brother? From another mother. Hayoim shnayim v'arboim yoim sheim shisha Shevuos. Ba'oimer, la'oimer. So boys, I feel bad for everybody. You'll be hearing about the safari every single day for the next 2 years. No, we have to do chazor on the joke. How do you know? So first of all, this. How do you know a person is a pilot? How do you know if a person saw a kill? You wait 5 minutes and it'll tell you. So it happens to be that I have a big schus here. There's somebody in this room who claims to be the most similar to me from the entire shir. This is his very first time here. And he's a chashuv guy, Rabbi Benedict, Shalom Aleichem. He's originally from Switzerland. So my father's from Switzerland. He went to Panovich. He does real estate. He has a small plane, a single engine plane. He's a pilot. He skis, he scuba dives. Was noch?
And he does the daf, he shaves.
And we're together. And went to safari together. Was noch? Milan Torah. So, yeah. How do I know he's a pilot? Because he told me after 5 minutes. Otherwise, it's the first time ever in history that an entire plane said, "Good morning, Rabbi Isai." Here we go. You ready? Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Okay. There's somebody's wife there that went, we had an eraser. She did it even louder, more geschmack than her own husband. So, I started off, when we all got together the first time in the trip, I said that you could look around and you'll see Yad Hashem, you'll see the Ashgacha Pratis of how there's millions of things. Like when the giraffe drinks, it has to lower its neck, and when it lowers its neck, it could get all the blood rushes to its head. So it has a special valve that cuts off the blood for that moment. Everything is so perfect. The cheetah runs 70 miles an hour, so you should be able to catch every gazelle he wants because the gazelles only run 50, 55. And the answer is, he barely catches anything, because when he tries, maybe he has maybe a 40% chance, because they're very quick, they know how to maneuver, and they could outlast him. He can only run like that for 60 seconds, and then even after he makes a kill, he sits there for a few minutes. He has to catch his breath, and his heart rate is very high. Every animal has a pro and a con. Some of them, they have great camouflage, others don't. They could kick very well. A giraffe could kick a lion, kill it, so that's why it doesn't really get leaned up all the time. The zebra can kick from back. Everything has it's unbelievable. I said, look around and you see in the Flies Abayra. So I have to share with you, a lot of people want to know what's going on. Some are jealous, so they don't want to hear about it. So those who are jealous, bye-bye. But most of us want to hear. So I'm going to tell you, there's the Ashgacha number one, that when you take 30 plus people to a place and everybody's luggage gets there, because I once went on a safari with my family and the luggage didn't come for 3 days. Baruch Hashem, it showed up as we were leaving back home. That's I had to go into the gift shop and buy shirts and sweatshirts. Each thing cost $200, things that I'll never wear again. It says the name of the place. But everybody arrived, no flights were delayed, nothing was canceled. The food, nothing was spoiled. They had to ship in the food from 4 days in a truck. It took them 4 days. They had to go. I'll show you some of the food here. It was on a very, very high level. The whole thing, the food was amazing. People were actually upset that the food was so good, because he said that they gained a lot of weight, and now we have to do mdyfitness.com. So just to do chazara, what happened? To do chazara. Here's a picture, a beautiful picture of, oh, by the way, this picture was taken by a person who gets a mazel tov. Noam Fix and his wife were with us, and they had a grandchild today. They have a baby, another girl. They don't have any girls, but all the grandchildren are girls. I told him that I think he davened too hard, and all the tefillos went to the next generation. You can see over here, we had 7 jeeps. 7 jeeps, and here we are davening Shachris, a beautiful tree, the whole thing. It was just, the views were gorgeous, the whole thing. So, I'm going to tell you the nace. The nace is that we all came knowing that somebody like Mendy Auerbach that went on 50, 60 safaris in his life has never seen a kill. So I told Oil, listen, we're not going for that. That's already too much. But let's try to get to see a leopard, which is very hard to see. Let's get to see a cheetah, which is very hard to see. Huh?
A stretching
A Now the Oilam, seriously, now some of the guys came to me and said, now we understand why you show that picture of the stretching leopard. Because it's so hard to see a leopard, and melee, we saw it in a tree, this and that, to stretch, to be on the ground. Okay, fine. Nobody came to tell me that, but I thought it myself. Anyway, so here we are. We saw some beautiful things the day before. We saw lions, we saw this, we saw that, and we saw a leopard in a tree, and we saw a cheetah from 500 feet away. How far away was it? We saw his head. Is it a leopard? Yeah, and I also picked up, oh, we saw a leopard, a cheetah. The last day, we had 3 hours to have a game drive, to see stuff, and then we go daven Shachris, because we had to get up really early in the morning before the light comes, before the nets. You daven Shachris, eat, and go get on a plane. For 2.5 hours, you can ask anybody here. 2.5 hours, we saw zilcho. We went through the same place where the day before we saw lions. We saw, I could even show you a little bit of a hunt going on there. Where was it? I didn't put it in there. Okay. Different things. Today, nothing. We saw one gazelle. Which is nothing. All of a sudden, the driver starts going quicker. I said, what? He said, he heard on the radio there might be a cheetah somewhere. So he's going. We have to daven Shachris in 20 minutes. He goes, we get there, and here's the thing. The entire trip, we didn't have all 7 jeeps together. 3 here, 2 here, over here, all 7 are together because we have to go daven Shachris. So they go, and we find the cheetah. Not stam a cheetah with a baby. Don't have the picture here. Kitzer, we're sitting there watching this cheetah for 2-3 minutes, and we're taking pictures. All of a sudden, the cheetah gets up in front of everybody, starts looking like this. And what happened was our jeeps created a wall. That's part of what happened. And behind the jeeps on that side were a bunch of gazelles. And the cheetah used us as a block. So the gazelles didn't have the cheetah there, and he's looking. He gets up, and everybody had the cameras ready. And he goes in front of all 7 jeeps. Now usually you can see the end. Usually you can see the beginning. Over here we saw the whole thing from beginning to end. And that's after Mo Landy said, I'll give 1,000 if I see a kill. And then Avi said, I'll give 1,000. And another guy, Chassid, said, I'll give 9,000. He gives it $12,000. Test me with tzedakah. Test me. So what? It was in your Jeep.
Mo said, I'll give 1,000. Avi said, I'll give 9,000.
Dave, take some of the pictures from the Daf Chav Gimel, I think. The one of this guy with Avi. It's all in the other. Put it over here, because, maybe it's Chav Daled Daf. Leave it, I'll show it tomorrow. Fine. And here we are watching. Now, they didn't go in a straight line. They're going in circles next to our Jeep. So 1 circle, 2 circles. And you saw the speed of this cheetah. And then he goes, knocks it down to the ground. And we couldn't see him kill it because there's a little bit of grass. But he's dead. We saw him knocking it down. Even that was an ace. So the kitzer, the whole thing from beginning to end, Hashgacha protest, the Olam was mamish b'simcha g'doyla ma'oid. We couldn't even daven. We were so b'simcha. And that's it. We went from there straight to davening, straight to there, and that's how it ended off. It was a mamish Hashgacha protest from Hakadosh Baruch Hu. This is how we're going to finish it off. You're doing stuff for Torah. The Olam is here to support Torah, to show that we care, and everybody, of course, to the supporters, this supporter, this. You couldn't script it better. And that's that. It wasn't a lion. It was the cheetah that's hard to see. Everything. There's another picture. You know what, Dave? Show that picture. I'll just say this, my ear. Meanwhile, I'll show this. The one with the lion on top of the rock. It's on Daf Chav Daled. Here. Here's the actual kill that Dave caught. Dave Sharfman up there in the thing. That's it. Right over there is where he got him. Chapt. This is all in front. We all saw this. Oh, check this out. Here he is, Rabbi Benedict with Yossi Klein. A chussid mit payis und a geschoyr in a shaygitz. Here we go. Look at it. Look at the speed of this thing. 65 miles an hour, faster than a car. And the thing's maneuvering, boom. Okay, now I'll just show you mine. This is funny. It's sad, but it's funny. This is mine. Here I am. This is me. I took this. You're going to see the best kill of your life on this video right here. It is. It's Chaps what it wants to do, and it has its baby behind, but I don't even have it. I'm focusing on this. And here's the rest of the kill. The boys say, here's the kill. You see the roof of the car? That's the rest. That's how a professional takes a video. Now you can understand how good Dave is. I said, I want to see this.
You got it? You got it?
Now.
We saw a kill, guys. We saw a kill. We saw a kill.
Kids are okay. This is a professional video. Just want to show this real quickly. Want to let you know the impact you have not only on all the individuals, but on our young yeshiva boys as well. Attached to the picture of my son learning the daf on a flight with his uncle to his uncle's wedding. Daf has really given in our understanding Geshmak and learning Gemara. Thank you. Givaldik, here's a kid. I know what kids do usually. Moshe Tendler. By the way, I just heard terrible news on the way here. There was a terrible accident in Lakewood. And the boy that got killed, his father is a big part of the daf. A lot of people know him. I don't want to say his name because it's Moshe Handler. That's the guy from his wife is big on the women's group. So big Zets. Shlomo should have an aliyah. Over here it says like this. Exactly today I learned in Daf Yomi that just like Hashem showed Moshe all the animals, what's tam and what's tar, also that's what you have to do when you go to the Serengeti, the Araval called Shurim, and you have Rech Mishivat Mir. He's an Avrech in Mir Yeshiva. V'shomeh ben Nisiyot. Here it is. Tonim v'yishmol. So Yisachai shetoichlu milamish tofas HaKadosh Baruch Hu kol min umin. HaKadosh Baruch Hu grabbed each and every species. V'hereloi l'moishe v'omerloi zoisachoi v'zoisloi teichol. I said that you see from here that we came to see if the wildebeests are kosher or not. So yes, they might be kosher, but we don't have a Messiah to shech them. Okay. And NDY Wives event this weekend, very famous, I guess. Miriam Pascal, she's a famous cookbook person. She's doing a whole Zoom thing to teach women how to do cool things for Shevuos. And it was sponsored by Anonymous, Hatzlacha bruchnius. Monthly sponsor, Zechraya by Moshe, Yosef, Parnasa Birevach for Baruch Shofnos, Nissim ben Shoshana Leah, Moshe Aron Miriam Landy for the Hatzlacha of all our children. ActualEyes in honor of David, Merkin Recent Union, all Silver Spring daffersEli Dyckman for the Refuah sheleimah of Tinuk ben Rivka and Rivka bas Gilah. Weekly sponsors Dov Eisenberger in honor of the members of Chaverim of Bergen County. Teamwork makes the dream work. Anonymous, Lili Nishmas, Mital Naami, Bat Ruvain, a mother of 13 who was just nifteres on Yud Gimel Iyar. Daily sponsors Anonymous, Refuah sheleimah for Dr. Stephen Mann, who selflessly participated in a kidney donation. Before I forget, we have here Dr. Neil. He's a big part of the shir. He's a very choshev doctor in Sloan Kettering. So yishkoyach for being here. I heard you spent Shabbos with my good friend Rabbi Benedict. Valdik. You knew him before? You didn't know him before?
Now Mark put us together.
What a shidduch. No, it was good. He's a good guy. No? Moridik shidduch. Anonymous, Refuah sheleimah for my wife who was having surgery today in all Chayil. That's MDY right there. Mark, boom. Anonymous, Refuah sheleimah Moshe ben Nitza who's having surgery today. Anonymous, Refuah sheleimah for my wife who's having surgery today. And all. Oh. Oh, that's why, because I skipped all these on Chav Beis. So we're saying them today. Anonymous, Chananya Yontav Lipa Zechraya of Bergen County, Reb Chanan, member of the Manchester MDY family. Anonymous, Refuah sheleimah for my wife who's having surgery today, and all Chayil Yisrael. Anonymous, Refuah sheleimah Moshe ben Nitza who's having surgery today. Now, daily sponsor for today. Finally, we're on today. Baruch Shofnos, Leah, our dear mother, Chana Chasya, Yaakov Tzvi Shalom on her 8th yahrzeit, Shabbos, 26th of Iyar. His brother Yaakov Shofnos sits right over here in the Hebrew. He sits over there. Oh, so today it's good. We got it good. Givaldik. Pinchas, the Neshama should have an aliyah. Pinchas Akilov, thank you, Rebelli, and the whole MDY staff for a lifetime adventure. You see, people are living through us, vicariously through us. Anonymous, in honor of the dark Ashkenazi and all the unsung heroes that keep the daf rolling. MDY Kids Monthly Innovations, Chus for Official, Chana Chasya, Rifki, and Mrs. Stefansky. Art of the month for sheleimah, for Yonah, Taneitam Bebashev Bracha, for Chus for Rebellion, the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so joy for so many. In honor of Yossi Klein and Marcus Ashkenazi for all the work they do. And Rabbi said, we have a daf here, and the Israelis are going to start showing up here in a half hour, and I don't know what to do. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have spoken so much about the safari. Or you can just do this Mishnah. We'll talk about the rest tomorrow. Says the Eli Mishnah. Daf Yomi Beis Amud Beis. How did he say in English? What? It doesn't matter what he did. We're not in this year. It's gewaldig. So, here's the question, in English, how do you say it? I eat soup or drink soup? Eat? How do you say? Eat? Drink? Oh. I think we eat soup.
We eat soup.
Okay.
Are you eating your soup?
I once drank soup, and I ended up in the hospital. That was right after I got married, and I tried to drink the soup in front of my wife. I don't know what happened, but I ended up unconscious in the hospital. And I learned that you don't drink soup after you get married. You don't take a cup, you don't take the bowl and go like this. Okay, those who didn't get it, no, I did not end up in the hospital, but I don't do it anymore. I tried it, I thought it was geschmack. Take the whole soup, ding. No. So it's one spoon at a time. There's a certain, you have to be polite. Okay. Shevuos shelo yochal. Person makes a shvuah that he's not going to eat. Voch, not only did he not eat, he drank and he ate in chayev alachas. Why? Because he said a shvuah he's not going to eat. Shevuos shelo yochal v'shelo yeshta. What if he also swore that he's not going to drink, not only not eat, he's not going to eat and drink? Voch v'shasa chayev shtayim. He's chayev for two. Shevuos shelo yochal. If he said, so the Mishnah is repetitive a little bit. Over here we have like this. Shevuos shelo yochal. He swears he's not going to eat. V'achal paschitim u'pasorim paskusman. He had all sorts of breads, 3 types of breads: barley, wheat, spelt. Ein chayev elachas. He's only chayev one. But if he says shevuos shelo yochal paschitin u'pasorim, he has this word. He says a bread made out of wheat bread, barley bread. Upas kusman v'achal chayev al kol achas v'achas. He's chayev on 3 shvuos. He separated, each one gets its own shvuah. Shevuos shelo yeshta. If he says, I'm not going to drink at all, v'shas mashkin harbe, drink some wine, beer, water, and a chayev alachas, only chayev one. Shevuos shelo yeshta, yayin v'shemen udvash. Over here he specifies 3 types, v'shasa, and he drank all 3. Chayev al kol achas v'achas, he's chayev 3, like the 3 breads. Shevuos shelo yochal. We're going to have a nice sugi about this. He makes a shvuah he's not going to eat. The Gemara understands in the beginning that we're talking about even treif. He says, I swear I'm not going to eat, and he ate treif. And he drank things that he can't drink, maybe like yain nesach. Potter. It's not edible stuff. Shevuos shelo yochal. And then the Mishnah says, then he ate. He said a shvuah, I'm not going to eat. Things that you're not allowed to eat. Chayav. So we're going to ask, there's a stira l'chayra. Reb Shimon poiter. Reb Shimon says no. Why? Because you're masna mashukos about Torah. So you're already chayav. The Torah tells you that you're chayav, so you can't add an additional chiyuv of a carbon for the shvuah. If I ate before, so then my wife won't benefit from me. And before he made the shvuah, he already ate a nice breakfast, mamish, a McDonald's. Even according to Reb Shimon, his wife is also to him. Why? Because the Gemara is going to explain. He showed that he cares about this food. He ate it for breakfast. So that means for him, it is considered food. If you make a shvuah, you say, I'm not going to eat, and then you go eat a cheeseburger from McDonald's, that's not considered eating. That's also food. But if you said that if I ate today, my wife should be also to me, and he ate, we find out that he ate a McDonald's, then she's also to him. Why? Because it shows that he cared about that food. Omer Refuah, Barovin, Omer Shmuel. Shevuos shelo yochal v'shasa chayav. If a person just makes a shvuah that he's not going to eat, but he also he drank afterwards. He says he's not going to eat. Chayav. Why is he chayav? Because now we're going to say that the shvuah includes. Just look over here. Do I have like something over here?
It's your eye.
Yeah, you should go, but underneath. I don't know. Keep something's bothering me over there. Okay.
Bags.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. That I can't get away with this. Little sleep. Okay? No, it's okay. Thanks. I should have asked the doctor. Where's Mazel Tov, I'm finishing another chumash.
Right?
Another chumash, another one.
Yeah. And this is the one that you said, just wait till it gets to Vayikra.
What, that's hard?
You said it.
Yeah?
Yeah, that day when we discussed it,
Yeah.
I said, it's going to be great, Brace. Just wait till he gets to Vayikra. I got through Vayikra.
Awesome. I don't remember saying it, but awesome. That's it.
Go to the tape.
Okay, we got to go to the tape.
It's common.
Now we only have 24 minutes to finish this whole daf. I don't know how. We're going to have a nace, like in the Safari. If a person says, I swear I'm not going to eat, it includes also drinking, either from a pasuk or just logic, common sense. Somebody says, let's do Toyamel, Erev Shabbos. What does that include? That includes a lot of food. It includes a lot of drinking. When a person says, let's go eat, he means also let's drink. And it could be it's a pasuk. How do you know that drinking is considered part of eating? We're talking about Meiser Sheni. You should eat. You should eat. Maaser de gomcha v'tiroishcha. V'tirish chamru. It says v'tiroishcha. You should drink, right? On Meiser Sheni, you're allowed to drink wine, meat. But it's used as a lashon v'chalta, v'chalta tiroishcha. You should eat your wine. You see, the Torah calls it achila. As the Gemara, ve'ema yidei anigroin. Maybe it's like a soup. It's like cooked beets. What happened? What did I say? Oh, v'dilma yidei anigroin. Maybe it's like cooked beets. It's like it's a soup. And in the soup, like a borscht, and you put a little wine in there to garnish the wine. What's anigroin? It's borscht, beet juice. Aksigroin may the kulu shilke. It's the broth. What do they call it? The broth of the vegetables. The vegetable soup. We got to pick it up. It says, so you see that you could eat wine. That when you say eating, it includes wine also. So the Gemara, what you gave from this pasuk, asked the same question we said before. Maybe it's he put the wine into a soup. He made some sort of delicacy with the wine. Says Gemara Sheikher Ksiv Midin Shaker here. So we got to go for this. We got to go to one of the big mumchim. I heard. I actually, people watch this stuff. My wife, whatever.
Red wine in.
This is Ramsey, right?
Don't use an expensive bottle of red wine. There's no need.
Bring the wine up to the boil and reduce it. This burns off the alcohol and concentrates the flavor.
You heard what he just said? This burns off the alcohol and concentrates the flavor. So says the Gemara, if you put your wine into a dish, it's gonna, what did he say? Burn off the alcohol and concentrate the flavor. So you're not gonna get drunk from eating this machal. If it's a negro, you're not gonna get drunk. And it says in the pasuk, Sheikher Ksiv. Midi the Mishaker, it has to be something that makes you drunk. Maybe it's like this fig kilis. Now, talking about the safari, so we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be talking about this for a little bit. You're gonna have to bear with me and see these pictures over and over. Here's dveila kilis.
At first, the marulas are very tasty and hard to get at. You have to be either agile or strong to get your share. But after a few weeks, the marulas get overripe and they start dropping from the trees. Then all the animals wade in and gorge themselves on the rotting fruit.
Bekitzer becomes alcoholic
In their tummies,
because
turns
it
into a very potent brew.
ferments.
So on the way home, things start happening to them.
The wilde beest, the wilde Chaverim. Bekitzer, we saw all these guys. Okay, you guys, we can watch this all day until the Zaydas come. This keeps on going. Okay, but that's the Dvei Keila. So the question is, there's actually a bacher once who got pulled over by a cop, and he says, "You look like you're drunk. I have to give you a breathalyzer." So he gave him a breathalyzer. So the bacher said, "Listen, what are you talking about? I didn't drink anything. I just had those chocolates with the rum, you know, with the
Rum balls.
the liqueurs. I had a bunch of liqueurs. That's why I'm testing positive on the thing." So he went to court. And the judge said, I hear what you're saying, but it turns out that in order for you to actually have that level of alcohol in your body, you would have had to eat at least 22 pounds of this chocolate liqueur. I don't think that's what you ate. And he put him away. So sometimes you have a dvei kilos. You ate this fig that'll make you drunk. Or you drank a little honey and milk. When do we have, Rabbi Isai, when do we have milk and honey? Shevuos. So this is the pasuk over here. It says in the pasuk, Yayim v'sheicher al teisht, ato vonecha kim tzara yishkoich. Where are you guys from, Rabbi Isai? Bells. Bnei Birevach. Es gekim from Bnei Birevach. Shkoich. Kim tzara. Oh, the Dvei Keila. You got them for the English or for the Hebrew? The English, okay, gewaldig. For the Yiddish. That's in a few years. Be'ez Hashem. I gotta polish up my Yiddish to do a real Yiddish. Yeah, a kohen is not allowed going to Beis Hamikdash like that. Even after eating a fig, one of those figs that knocked out the elephant, the kohen is also not allowed to. So maybe we're talking about one of these things, the Dvei Keila. Says the Gemara, we have a Zerushaveh over here. It says Miyayim Sheikher Yazir. By the Nazir it says Sheikhar, and by us it says Sheikhar. No, not this one. Bekitzer, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, this one. Fine. Akoponim, we have the two sheikhars, Mala Alon Yayin, Afkan Yayin. We know by a Nazir he's not allowed to drink wine, so by us also it's wine. A person makes a shvuah he's not going to eat. I said over the joke, I said it's not funny, but Benny and Dave, they came directly from Africa to the shir. It was like, we left at 9 o'clock at night in... No. 10:45 in the morning? No. When do we leave on the first flight? From 12 o'clock in the afternoon, which is the same thing as 12 o'clock in the afternoon here. 12 o'clock Thursday afternoon, and Benny shows up with Dave at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Friday. So 25 hours later, and instead of going home, taking a shower, they came directly to the shir. So needless to say, he was a shtickle tired because he was flying through the night. So I said this joke, I'm just going to tell it to you, that there's a guy that was, because we're talking about Shevuos, Dvash and Chalav, a guy, right before Shevuos, he went from city to city trying out the different milchik meals. So they said, what's Pshat? So he said, because it says in the Ramah, the Nagu, Bekama Mekoymos Lechal Chalav. He was on the floor. I'm like, it's not that funny. He's just very tired. Okay. Next. A person, it says in our Mishnah, we learned, no, not in the Mishnah, a person he swears he's not going to eat. And not only did he not, he ate and he drank, and if you tell me that drinking is considered part of eating, Now I understand why the Tana says you're not chayiv 2, you're chayiv 1, even though they're included in each other. Chayiv 1. And if drinking is not part of eating, so the Gemara is being funny here. It has like a sense of humor. If a person he swears he's not going to eat, and then he drove his car, he should be chayiv on driving the car. He did a malacha. What connection does a malacha have to do with eating? It's a Gemara's joke. The Gemara says, "Va'asa malacha." He made a shvu he's not going to eat, and he went and he lit a fire. He went and he plowed his field. He did a malacha. What? So I have to tell you that he's not chayiv for driving in his car and making a fire? Of course he's not chayiv. So if I tell you that he made a shvu he's not going to eat, I have to tell you, and he drank a drink, he's not chayiv? Of course he's not chayiv. So you see from here that drinking and eating is one of the same. Oh, so you want to tell me that drinking is part of eating? So that I have a problem with the end. It says, in our Mishnah it says, the first thing is also the Mishnah. He did make a shvuah, which counted also drinking. And he ate and he drank, he's chayiv 2. But wait a minute, eating includes drinking. So when a person said, I'm not going to eat, that already means I'm not going to drink. If he adds and he says, I won't drink, why is he chayiv on that? If a person says, I'm not going to drink, and then he drank, he's not chayiv 2. So when he says, I'm not going to eat, which means I'm not going to drink, and then he adds, I'm not going to drink, why should he be chayiv 2? He should only be chayiv 1. By the way, real quickly, stop an interesting question. There's a chiyuv to eat pashachars, chiyuv. The Gemara talks about how helpful it is. It's a good thing to eat pashachars. A yotze pashachars is drinking coffee. Or if you say that shti is achila, so some want to say that you're yotze. Huh? Pashachars doesn't mean bread. It means that you have to eat something. He says it does. Okay, he's mechulek on all the people that say it doesn't. Givaldik. What's your name, Tzaddik?
Ari Albert.
From?
North Miami Beach.
Ari Albert. From North Miami Beach. You see my father at all? Well, say hello to him when we do. Okay, he's not really in North Miami Beach. I don't know where is he? Anybody know? He's in Miami somewhere. It's all the same. North, this, Hollywood, I don't know. Kids,
Maybe he moved again.
Could be. Oh. Then they say the milk, coffee with milk, is mishaker. So it could be it is shtia, but today milk is not mishaker. Okay. Next. It's because you're right. When you first start off and you say, I'm not going to drink, did I put in the wrong? Oh. The Gemara thought that it was shaloi oichal v'shaloi eshta. When a person says, I'm not going to eat, it includes drinking. So the Gemara says, no, it's like in the second line. Shvuah shaloi eshta. First, I'm not going to drink. And then he said, I'm not going to eat. Shaloi eshta v'adam shaloi oichal. The shtia b'chlal achilo isa. Because drinking is included on the top line, drinking would be included in the first word that he said, achila. Achila b'chlal shtia lesa. But if he says shtia, that doesn't include achila. And that's why he adds the second shvuah. So what are you telling me? That if a person he swears that he's not going to eat, and then he says, I'm not going to drink, if he does the top line over here, he's only chayiv 1 because in achila is included shtia also. What's the first case in the Mishnah? He just says one word, I'm not going to eat. He doesn't talk about not drinking. I'm not going to eat. And he ate and he drank, and he only chayiv 1. As the Gemara, it should say it like this, not shaloi yoichal, just the red, add the green to it, and you have a much bigger chiddush, that even if you say red and green, shaloi yoichal v'shaloi yeshta, he's only chayiv 1. Certainly if he only says shaloi yoichal, he's only chayiv 1. But even if he says shaloi yeshta, he's chayiv only 1, that's a much bigger chiddush. And certainly you don't have to say what the Mishnah says of just saying the word oichal. Even if you say add the word shtia, you also only chayiv 1. Okay, so let's go back. It says it like the top line over here. First comes achila, then comes shtia. Oh, you're right. If he would have just said the red, that includes drinking. But why did he add, I'm not going to drink, if it's already included in the red? The reason is because he didn't want it to be included in the red. He wanted to add it by himself. Typically speaking, if he just said that includes but since he added afterwards he's showing what he meant in the beginning. What he meant is, I'm not including shtiya in achila. I can prove from the Mishnah. A person swore that he's not going to eat, and then he ate things that are not proper for eating. He drank things that are not proper for drinking. Potter. I could be medayek haru'uyin chayav. Let's say they were ru'yit for drinking. He's chayav. He only said I'm not going to eat. He didn't say I'm not going to drink. So you see that drinking is included in eating. Mamish mefurish in the Mishnah. I mean, not mefurish, it's a nice diuk in the Mishnah. Oh, that's why I said the thing with the milk. Okay, I said yesterday. Could you make Havdalah on coffee? Chamar Medina. Chamar Medina. Do you have a better beverage than coffee for Chamar Medina?
Beer.
No, I think more people drink coffee than beer. So
People do milk.
the problem, but Havdalah has to be something that could bring you to get drunk. That's why I said it before. Okay, and that's what they say. But if you add milk to it, it can make you drunk. Milk can make you drunk, but not nowadays. Okay, that was the thing. Okay, Zog the Gemara. Says Gemara, Dilma. How do you know Dilma Tarti? You're right. The Mishnah says one, maybe Shvuos Sheleimah, Shvuos Sheleimah. Okay, so you don't have the greatest raya we have. It could be doichak. We don't have a raya. What does it say in the Mishnah? If a person says I'm not going to eat, and then he went ahead and ate 3 types of bread. Or what happens if he specifies all the breads? He says I'm not going to eat these 3 types of breads, and then he ate all 3. He's chayav 3. As Gemara, maybe when he said I'm not going to eat these 3 breads, chitim, soirim, kusmin, he meant but everything else I could eat. Not to be mechayiv him 3 times on these 3 breads. He just made a list of what's allowed. Not to say that if I ate these 3, I'm chayiv 3 different things. He just made a nice list. Oh, if you want to make a list, why do you have to say pas chitim, pas soirim, pas? Because he added the word pas, it means that he wants to make himself mechuyev 3 different korbanos. As Gemara of Dimah Lakos. So lakos is very interesting. Let's say you take a kernel of wheat and you chew it. That's lakos. Chew it. What bracha do you make on chewing wheat? How do you know? Shackle. What about a maitzi? No, if you eat kernels. No. The halacha is it's hadama. So maybe what he tried to say is that I said pas. The reason I said pas is because I don't care about the chewing. I care about eating a bread. Oh. You have these prepared or they come on the spot? On the fly. So maybe prepare it before, no?
I don't prepare the daf.
Oh. Maybe you should, exactly. I'm a whole week with this guy. Whole week. You should see his wife when he makes these jokes. You heard these before? She said they were funny when we got engaged, but that's where it stopped, basically. I told you not to bring her along. She threw you under the bus like that. Okay, so you should have said pas chitin. Okay, not to exclude chewing. Say chitin bread. Usoyim v'kusmin. Oh no, that's not good enough. Dilma pas chitin lechol. You only said it once, so maybe he meant don't eat wheat bread, but the soirim, the barley, that's lakos, that's the chew. Soirim v'kusmin lakos. No. The havalei lemeimar pas chitin v'shel soirim v'shel kusmin. Why did he say pas? He should, if he wanted to, he could have just said pas chitin, the bread of chitin v'shel soirim v'shel kusmin. That's also not good, says the Gemara. Chaverim of Bergen County. This is just technical things of l'shoynos. The dilma yidei taros. Maybe if a person says pas chitim b'shel sheleimah b'shel this means it's one bread. There's a type of bread that has all 3 types. Multigrain, exactly. Oh, no, that's also not because Ema v'chein shel sorim v'chein shel kusmin pas lomali. Again, we're going back. Again, why does it say pas? Shema min l'chalik. He did it on purpose to say that he's chayiv 3 Shevuos, turning the daf. Innovations LC in honor of our sons Kalmo 12, Yisrael 9, for learning Sanhedrin Makis and Shevuos with the Rebelli, are that global, still experts in international financial services and all puns. Anonymous, in honor of the tzaddik whose name we cannot say, who shows us what it means to be a giver and a tzaddik. What did that guy call him here? In honor of the dark Ashkenazi and all the unsung heroes. Kisser, the Olam knows who he is. Great. Shevuah shlo yeshte v'shosam mashkim harbe yinuchai v'la'achas. Rabbi say, Stam you should know this is what Yoshi did for Shevuah shlo yoichav shlo yeshte. Anybody that was on the safari, on the plane, made a Shevuah, he's not going to eat or drink for the next 2 weeks. No? 10 pounds, l'kol ha'pachas. Shevuah shelo yeshte v'shosam mashkim harbe yinuchai v'la'achas. Bishlei Masling, why I ask a simple question? Why did I say that the 3 breads mean 3 Shevuos? Because he said pas chitim, pas soyer, pas. It was all in the pas. But when it comes to the drink, he didn't say that word. There's no words differentiating between the drinks. He just said shem and yain cholav, whatever the lashon was. I don't remember the exact 3, but something like that. Yeah. He didn't say the drink of yain, the drink of this. Bishlei Masling amers me actually pas l'chiyuva because he added the extra word pas. Why is this anything? Why is there something special about these 3 drinks? Maybe what he said is, these are the 3 I'm not going to drink, but everything else. Here, look, I have a problem with beer. I'm an alcoholic. I don't like. I want to make sure I'm not going to drink beer, whiskey, and wine. Okay, so I'm saying these 3, not because I want to be chayiv on each one. So I want to say these are the 3 I'm not going to drink, but I'm going to drink orange juice and apple juice and water and all this other stuff. Maybe that's what I meant. Because these 3 beverages were right in front of him. What he should have said is, again, we're a little technical here. You should have just said it very simple. I'm not going to drink these. I swear I'm not going to drink these. Why did he say wine, beer, this? Why did he say 3 different things? So that's to show that he's chayiv on each and every one. So the Gemara, maybe even if they're in front of him and he would have said that lashon, it's not a good lashon because he meant other ones I would drink. In other words, so Rashi says here, you have to stick this in. These 3, the beer, the tequila, and the whiskey, I'm not going to drink, but all other beer, tequila, and whiskey I will drink. See, he's being smart over here. If you point at this and say, I'm not going to drink these, so it means dafka these 3 bottles, but all the other bottles in the world I could drink. So again, his language is not good enough. Achrina shatina from this exact type. That's, you have to stick it in. If you have a pencil, write it in there. Okay, so he should have said like these, this type. Maybe he meant this bottle right over here because it's a 1 liter bottle, but 2 liter bottle I will drink. Ella, we have to skip these words. It doesn't make any sense. So it says on the side, don't be garish. It doesn't make sense. Ella shvuah shelo min elu. He should have said, I'm not going to drink beer, all wine, all alcohol. Min elu. When you say, I'm not going to drink beer, but these I would drink. Okay. He should have said, I'm not going to drink these right here, these 3 bottles, and everything that's like them. We're talking about, again, so we had a question, why is this guy chayiv on all 3 bottles and all 3 types? He didn't say anything special like by bread. By bread he said pas chitin, and then he said pas soyer. And the word pas differentiates it for a new chayiv in each one. But by wine and milk, he didn't say anything special. So it's talking about his friend is sitting there and bugging him to drink with him. He just came out of Alcoholics Anonymous. He just came from a 6-month alcohol program, rehab. And this Meshugana is like they all do, like as soon as you come out, that friend that got you into it to begin with, he's waiting for you at the door and here with a bottle of whiskey. Let's go. So what do? You're shaking your head like this happened to you. Always. Okay? So the Amar loy boy shtei mi. Let's go drink. Yayin v'shem dvash. So what should have he said? I swear I'm not drinking with you. But why did he add all the types? That's why he's chayiv in each and every one. Not that the wine is special. The first case of pas chit and pas sorim, nobody was bothering him. He just said it on his own. So you need a special word pas. But when your friend comes after the rehab situation and tells you to drink with him, that's a problem. You should have just said, I'm not drinking with you. That's it. Why do you have to specify what you're not drinking? Why? Because he wanted to add chiyuvim. He wanted to make it severe, that if he does drink with him, he'll be chayiv on each type of beverage that he drinks. Then I know something. Maybe we'll just go to the Shevuos shelo yochel. I don't know, it's not so good, but it's kind of short tomorrow. Fine.
So like about Shuvah, has to be extra mafna.
You don't have to, but that's what they do.
Yeah.
Not awesome. A person went on a safari and he didn't want anybody to steal his barley and his wheat, so he gave the big bags of barley to his neighbor. He comes back from the safari, he says, give it back to me. The guy says, I swear you never gave it to me. Shevuos she'ein lecha biyadi klum. He swears, you didn't give me anything. And now we caught him on a lie, so he's chayiv. If it was a mistake, he has to bring a carbon, whatever. But what if the guy swears, Shevuos she'ein lecha biyadi chitin usarim v'kusmin? He says the three types of things that he doesn't have. Chayav al kol achas v'achas. Then he'll be chayav for each and every one. Even here, even if there's only, here's the pas chitin, pasorim v'kusman. Oh, you didn't do it? Okay. So let's look at 2, 3, and 4. If there's a third, let's say each bread is worth 1 pruta. So let's say from each bread there's a third of a bread, and together it's a pruta. You be chayiv what? A carbon. How many carbonas? 1 carbon. Chayiv 1 carbon. But it's mitzaref. The chiddush is that you can combine all 3. So it says, how many Shevuos is this person chayiv? Check this out. You could say he's chayiv on number 2, on number 3, and number 4. Why? Because he says pas chit, that's what we're talking about. 3. What about number 1? When the guy says, and we're not talking about a person swearing, I'm not going to eat. The person says, I'm not watching these things for you. I never watched a bread for you. I never watched barley bread, not the wheat bread, and not the spelt bread. But he also said, Ein lecha biyadi klum. He also added those words. That's a generalization. I don't have anything. And I don't have pas chitin, I don't have pas sorim, pas kusman. So perhaps it's chayav 4 Shevuos. So it goes like this. There's machlokes. Maybe chayav 3, maybe chayav 4. So, if you're chayiv, you only chayiv for 2, 3, and 4, and not on 1. So the Rabbi Yochanan, he's not chayiv on the generalization that he said. So Rabbi Yochanan, he only spoke about the reisha. Here's the reisha. Ein lecha biyadi klum. The reisha doesn't mention, you see, look, not awesome. Shevuos she'ein lecha biyadi klum. That's it, that was the end. Ein lecha biyadi klum. So now, he said 1 Shevuah, but that Shevuah, says Rabbi Yochanan, you can take all types of bread, and take a little bit, a third from this bread, a third from this bread. If together I have a pruta, boom, he's chayav a carbon. Why? Because there's only 1 Shevuah. Ein lecha biyadi klum. I don't owe you anything. But if you say that it's the klal, that you chayiv on the klal also, in other words, let's go back to here. You chayiv 4 Shevuos, that the thing that he said in the klum is 1 carbon. Pas chitin is a 2nd carbon. So now I'm differentiating the pas chitin from the pas sorim and the pas kusman. There's nothing to combine them. Each one is an individual. So how can you take a third from chitin and a third from sorim and a third from kusman and put them together? Each one is its own little carbon. If they're own carbon, then they don't go together. The other one says that you're chayiv even on the first. So if you chayiv on the first, on the ein lecha biyadi klum, so you're chayiv even on the seifa where he says pas chitin, pas sorim, pas kusman. Hachamai. So how does it work in this case? In our case, Amar Rava, so here, this is our case. Yes, shelo yochal. There's one case that we just discussed that the guy said, you owe me this, I lent you, you're watching these things for me. And he denies it with a shvuah. What about our case where a person says, I'm not going to eat, and I'm not going to eat paschid? How many korbanos is chayav here? 3 or 4? In the first case, the top case, when he says, I don't owe you anything, and I don't owe you a wheat bread and a barley bread, so why? When it comes to somebody watching something for somebody else, you could invoke 2 chiyuvim, 2 Shevuos. Every time you swear, you chayiv again and again and again. But in our case, if in fact he made a shvuah, shelo yochal, number 1, that's the first shvuah, I'm not going to eat. Included in I'm not going to eat is chitin, sayrim, and kusmin. So he's mushba v'aymed. In other words, his number 2 and 3, 4 shvuah doesn't even work. Why? Because it's included in the first shvuah. So you can't add that. Just take a look real quickly. I just want to show you the Americans, and especially the guests that are here in the room. They have no idea what I'm saying, so I could say this. If you look in the back, don't stare all at one time now, you'll see a YERUSHLAMI. No, is that how you spell it? I'm close. Okay, whatever. He's wearing a funny color yellow thing, and there's a guy here with a funny, it's made from the tail of a certain animal. I don't want to say it here. And there's all sorts of people in the back coming in for the Hebrew Shul. I just want to show you the achdus that we have is tremendous. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful evening. A good Voch. Thank you for coming. Shevuos.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.